Welcome back. So the ladies are harassing me actually that I forgot them. I can't forget you people now. You're my sisters. They took me out on that day and they gave me a wonderful gift. The gift that I desired because I insisted that I wanted that type of gift. It didn't make sense to them, but they gave to me. God bless you. Ladies, can we now move on to the newspaper? Let's start the review with The Nation. Major headline. Bank mergers likely as CBN directs 500 billion capital base. Apex Bank expects roadmap by April 30. Financial institutions get March 31st, 2026 deadline. LP disowns NLC energized board of trustees. Monarch surrenders. Prof. 6 others wanted over soldiers' killing. Quality of work on Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road excites Umahi. Renewed Hope initiative lifts anti-TB campaign with 1 billion. Tinubu lifting Nigeria to enviable heights, says Buhari, governors and others. Eminent Nigerians celebrate president at 72. My life no longer safe, says journalist freed from military custody. What stories do we have in The Nation?
Okay, I have the Central Bank of Nigeria. Central Bank of Nigeria announced increased minimum capital requirements for banks. International 500 billion, national 200 billion, merchant 50 billion, regional 50 billion. Regional non-interest, 20 billion. Non-interest national, 10 billion. Non-interest regional, 1 billion. Banks have 24 months to comply with options, including equity injections and license upgrades. Promoters of new banks must meet new requirements. Existing banks must submit an implementation plan for April 30th, 2024. Compliance will be monitored. So some of the banks are going to merge. There's going to be merger and acquisitions and all. And from other news, I heard that some banks have already been able to declare that they have that capital base, 500 billion, likes of Zenith Bank, UBA,
Those
and
are the big
Access.
giants.
Yes. And then I'm very sure some other banks are going to start coming together.
This happened a few years back where from 72 banks, we now have only 25. Now, we don't know if some banks merge.
Yes, only 5 will remain.
Well, as long as there's 5 healthy banks,
Yes,
rather
that's
than
most important.
because the
So we'll have mergers and all of that. But I have the Labour Party story. So the Labour Party claims to have had its convention and elections in Nnewi in Anambra State. But INEC, according to the Chief Press Secretary of INEC, he said the INEC was not involved in the Nnewi conference. They had no hand in it. And the Board of Trustees, now the NLC-backed Board of Trustees, are taking over the Labour Party, with Labour Party saying they don't know of any such Board of Trustees. So according to the Labour Party National Legal Advisor, Kehinde Edu, he said the party duly informed the Commission about change in venue and date. But the Commission insists this does not conform with Section 82, Sub 1 of the Electoral Act of 2022 that requires that parties shall give INEC at least 21 days notice of convention, congresses, conferences, or mergers or meetings. And they said that such mergers and electing of members of its executive committees and other governing bodies or nominating of candidates must be predated with a 21 days at least notice. But the Labour Party, by their National Publicity Secretary, says they are unaware of a Board of Trustees takeover of the party. But this Nnewi meeting and elections was backed by 350 delegates who were in attendance, and they voted that Julius Abure is re-elected unanimously and overwhelmingly. In that meeting, they had the attendance of the Abia State governor, who was represented by his deputy, the deputy minority whip of the House of Reps. They had 10 members of the National Assembly, the entire members of the Abia State House of Assembly, the Speaker, the deputy minority leader of Imo State House of Assembly, and they elected top government officials and all of that for their party. So I hope that they tidy up before the next elections, because when crises start like this, party good end. Okay. So they had about 6 members who have decamped to the PDP right now. So it's a lot of it's huge.
I have, so to say, a traditional ruler, Clement Ikolo Ogenerukewe, has been detained by the Delta State Police Command in connection with the killing of the 17 officers and soldiers of Nigerian Army. The police command says that Ogenerukewe is the Urukwe one of Imo Kingdom. He turned himself in after the defense headquarters had declared him and 7 others wanted. As we remember the circumstances of, that led to the naming of these 7 people that have been wanted. They said amongst them, there's also a professor of physics, Ekwepo Arthur, and a few others. For just time, I'm not going to take every one of them. But this Mr. Arthur is the President General of the Ewu Kingdom. He's Professor of Solid State Physics and a member of Nigerian Institute of Physics, Nigerian Association of Mathematical Physics and Science Association of Nigeria, SAN. So, they seem to be, amongst them seem to be people of stature and caliber. So, with the traditional ruler, he's already taking himself there. I know that we're going to hear more and we'll see how this thing, works out. But we also had like some update from the Defense Media Operations. He talked about the fact that it did not make sense that citizens need to be aware that they are the military's first line of intelligence and will always work together, with the military to honor their nation in this way. He does not understand how a community can carry this out, knowing that the soldiers were working for the community. He also spoke about the 313 Boko Haram suspects that had been released by the military. As we remember, that made quite the rounds. He says that they were released by the courts because the court says on the basis of lack of evidence. And so they're saying that they will keep doing their best as military officers to gather proper evidence when they, arrest these people. So those are some of the things that affect how these prosecutions eventually are carried out. So, that's an update on that as well.
Let's take a short break now. When we come back, the newspaper reviews continue. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.